line. Hey, the radio, big crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet. Not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Crank it up.
And now, race fans, it is my pleasure and my honor to welcome you here down in Atlanta, Georgia, as we're about to bear witness to drivers of the Spartan Logistics Management LLC iRacing IROC series right here and now on the old Atlanta surface. It's time to bring it down at old hotlanta. Here we are now on PTM Racing TV. Hi everyone, I'm Christian the Crusader Shriver. Welcome you here down to tonight's show in action, as we had a few little things we had to change up and little things we kind of fixed up here for the new season, new year. We have a few things you'll kind of notice throughout the broadcast and at the end as well that you may like, or you may want to tell us you don't like or not. Let us know about that. But before we get to that here tonight, it's time to start it up here with Spartan Logistics Management LLC IROC Challenge. So let's take a look at it now here tonight. Starting them on the pole, we're going to go with Troy Radford in the 94 is outside. Jeff Napier in the 40. Row number 2 is Brian Rose, the 89 is outside. Brian McCann will pilot in the number 3. Row 3, Cody Harger in the 66 outside. Kyle Pengraff in the 14. Row 4 sees Ryan Snare in the 45 is outside. Mitchell Snare in the 43. Row 5 sees Cook Quick in the 54 is outside. Bobby Hamilton Jr. in the number 16. Row number 6 is Tim Schofield in the 12 is outside. Piloting the 2, it's Neil Quick. Row number 7. We'll pilot down with Chris Wally in the 5 is outside. Brandon Medford in the 83. Row 8 sees David Tremblay in the 96 is outside. Vincent Short in that 15. Row 9 we'll see Paul Buzzle in the 1 is outside. Chris Medford in the number 46. Row number 10 is going to be David E. Brown. The 7 is outside. That's Brian Reich, the 112. Row 11 sees Matt Kopp in the 22 is outside. That'll be Doug Wysocki in that 34. Row 12 sees Mike Harper. The number 4 is outside. Dakota Clark in the 38. Our final starters here tonight. We'll pilot it down with Hunter Clark in the 18 and Roy Radford, in the 47. Race fans, they come from all very lights of light to come put on a show. The Next Gen Cup Series are now here at Atlanta. It's time for old Hotlanta to get put to the test once again. Firing them off down through the first set of corners here. Everyone hot on the trails. of drivers right now pacing through the track, pacing on down to the corners they go. So far, so good. Troy Radford right out of the gate. No surprise here, the number 94 with the early lead. Brian Rose in the 89, though, looking to try to keep the Holler boys in this fight once again. Had a great couple of races as of late, but has had struggles keeping up with the pace and keeping up with the distances. Will that change here tonight, we wonder? The thing about Atlanta Motor Speedway with these next-gen cars, I can tell you from racing with experience, is they are extremely difficult to get that 550 horsepower package to really work off the corners or work off the runs for a real distance run over the drafting packages. But those that are in the race lead, for the they'll pretty much be in pretty much a secure little area, because they won't have to let guys have to come right up at them and try to take them down a few notches or try to run them off. They'll have plenty of openings here. Kind of keep centered, keep spaced out on the track, and that's exactly what they want to do here. Problems already though for Hunter Clark in the 18, a little bit going it down onto the back straightaway here. Looks like he's slowed down tremendously. You know that's going to cost him plenty of time here. Tough break there for the number 18. Pounding away to the throttle zones here. The 112 or the 12R of Brian Reich looking to gain up on number 15, Vincent Short. Vincent right now looking to try to hammer down and keep his lead ahead as the Chevrolets, all Chevrolet Camaros that these drivers are running here tonight, kind of pace through the field and pace through the motions. And really, it is only a matter of time before we get that 670 horsepower package being put onto the iRacing service. And I'll tell you guys one thing, like I've enjoyed my time calling these plate track racing style cars on the mile and a half. But I will say this, and I will say it once, I'll say it again. I do enjoy a good strategy-based kind of scenario, kind of runoff here, because as a broadcaster and as a racer, it really makes for interesting ideas in manufacturing on the driver's end as well as the car's end to really maintain and continue the grip of it. And let's be honest too, with that 670, these things are going to be a lot harder to handle and a lot harder to control. On board here with Bobby Hamilton Jr. Great to see him back here on PTM Racing TV. It's been a while since we've seen him, but the former NASCAR driver is back out here on the track and back out with the Spartan boys, and he's proven something already to the boys from the real world to the virtual world. I'm here to stay and I'm here to play. He's managed the throttle and pounding his way right back into the back straightaway. He's gone up there with the number 3 of Brian McCann, as well as the 94 of Troy Radford. The 45 of Brian Snare currently just up ahead of him by a few notches here. He's currently running into the third end as Cody Harger will try now to put the 66 ahead there of the 89. We have ourselves a new race leader. It's Brian Rose in the 89 machine. Brian Rose, like I said earlier on, representing for the Holler Boys racing team. Got a couple of those guys in there with him, of course. Guys like Vincent Short also in that ground and in that clearance. Vincent normally known for his plate tracks racing style, so I would think of these kind of plate track style packages, they'd be able to kind of maintain distance, maintain control by keeping together with each other and kind of keep themselves on the open field. But remember, with these next-gen Cup cars, they are a little bit more difficult to handle and kind of harder to control around the track because of that steering issue we still have not gotten completely fixed out or wiped out here until the new update comes around. But also, the rear end does like to slide out a little bit into those corners if you misjudge a turn or you're trying to over-accentuate. It is a 5 of Chris Wally. I don't know what he was thinking, if he was trying to open his own lawn care service or if he was just trying to find a corner that most people wouldn't even dare touch. That man literally just snuck it right on off of corner 4 down that front straightaway into the quad oval tri-oval design. Snapped it straight down the inside, snapped it shut, and pretty much passed in the number 54, Cook Quick. Cook, I guarantee you, probably not too thrilled about that little maneuver. He probably wants a little revenge for that one. Now it is early as well here, so caution laps will be definitely where everyone's looking towards at the stage breaks. If you ever seen Spartan Logistics Management LLC iRacing IROC Series race, well, you guys are in for a treat, because one thing these guys do, very similar to what NASCAR does, is they look for the cautions on the stage breaks, and they really maintain and aim for a big opening and a big surprise to really use up on the rest of the field when the time comes. Most drivers tend to drive a little softer out of the gate, kind of relax in a little more, almost as if they're actually driving the normal Cup cars. But there is one major thing that changes everything completely out, is when they get into that long run distance and then into the short run distance. Long run is the first stage, second stage is kind of that middle of the road. The third, well, third stage, it's a mad dash for success. There are more points on the line via the point system in the second stage and the final stage, of course. The first stage, get a solid set of points there, about 6 total, and then 3 and 2. There's 6 to 4 and through, we should say. Pounding down on the track zone right now. Currently, Bob Hamilton Jr. still holding that number 16 machine in the fight and in the fray. Man, is he hammering everything down and giving himself quite a bit of room down there. Last time we saw him, I believe it was down at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Unfortunately, just got caught up in a few too many wrecks there and got into too many situations. Cost him a lot of time on the ground and ended up costing him all that day. And yeah, we didn't really talk with him earlier, but we heard down on the pit road here in the garage area today that he's been pretty much kind of more focused in and lined up to hit each corner off and make sure he's got a good run here tonight because he's going to race. But unfortunately, there's a wreck right in front of him on the turn 4. Oh my goodness, 89-year Brian Rose gets caught up in the mix between Brian McCann and it looks like the 45 there of Brian Snare. Oh my goodness. Well, either there's two things that happened. Number one, Brian McCann decided he saw an opening and it was time to go, or these boys wanted to see what we came up with here on our new and improved PTM Instant Replay. Let's find out what we saw here. Presented by R&R Racewear. Here is the brand new and improved PTM Racing TV Instant Replay. Take a look at this one. Came right off of corner number 4. This was the battle for second. Brian McCann just catches it a little too close. Catches it there with Snare. And unfortunately, nowhere to go for either of those drivers. Both get kind of caught off in a big issue and a big situation there. No one was able to get out of that one in time. Here's another look at it. Watch this, and as a driver, you know, I don't blame McCann for doing this. This is the perfect move. This is the right maneuver to slingshot it right in the middle, 3 wide, and get the pass. Unfortunately, though, these next-gen Cup cars, well, let's just say they're a little finicky on that end. So if you try to do something like that, there's a good chance you can end up smashing down like that in this case. And these drivers do not have instant repairs. This is the thing to know. They are going to treat these cars as if it's real life. You do not get an instant repair. So if you want to survive, you best figure out how to drive clean. You best figure out how to stay out of trouble. By the way, fans at home, let us know down in the comment section below as well here on our YouTube end or on our Facebook live stream, if you will. And let us know what you think of some of the new changes we put up. There's not very many, but we did kind of work a little harder on these things and actually try to get the changes dialed in. There are a few other things we're still working on at the moment that behind closed doors we're not telling you. So, but like I said, we're trying to always find new ways to kind of improve and find things that we can increase in our broadcast value. So, while the drivers get all situated back out around here on the track, we'll cut to a quick commercial break and get them all squared away. But when we come back, the number 66, Cody Harger, is the man with the power, the man of the hour. Will he be able to hold on for the race lead? Find out when we return. Tonight's race, ladies and gentlemen, has been presented in part by our good friends over at Spartan Logistics Management, LLC. By R&R Racewear, the official iRacing merch store. By Loud Pedal Gaming TV, smashing the loud pedal for your viewing entertainment. By SimSpeedShop.com. By Track Time Entertainment. And by 5-Star Graphics. A big thank you from the iRacing IROC series boys, as well as us here on PTM Racing TV for helping these guys out and giving them some love here. And to the fans tuning in right now with us as well, really appreciate you guys coming on board here. Drivers getting settled back down, currently under the caution flag at the moment here. First caution of the day. And it came after that little situation between Brian McCann and Brian Rose, as well as Brian Snare. And currently all the 43 and 45 drivers are out of the track here. They're going to have a lot of work to do to get back into this field and back into this hunt because they're running out of laps here. Now again, it is early, so if they're able to get the cars situated and fixed up just in time, there is a possibility and a chance that it could work out in their favor. And they could be able to strengthen and increase their volume and streak their track zone here. We shall see. Time is going to be of the essence, and we're ready to get back down to it. Look at them double filing them back up here. The pace cars' lights are off. That means one thing here on PTM Racing TV, folks. We're ready to get the drivers back out on the track, and it's time to go racing here on the show. So on the race lead start here, Cody Harger will remain the #1 man on the top list. Tim Schofield, though, will put it right beside him. Troy Radford right behind them both. Kyle Pengraff going to put the 14 machine right in the top half of the top two. And road twos, I should say. And then Brandon Medford, Neil Quick in that hunt as well. Brandon, the BMFer, as we like to call him, he is currently ready. And I know it does not stand for what you say. It's just his full name and a nickname, Brandon. So right now he's currently getting settled up, ready to fight it out here with the #2 of Neil Quick. Brother, family member though, Cook Quick, right behind the field into the pack. As our drivers get ready to hit them on down and strengthen their numbers back onto the field. Off our corner #4 to the front straightaway. We're going to line them up and restart them out. And it looks like I didn't kind of took it for granted just how many cars we got wrecked out there. Over from 17 on back, including Hamilton Jr. wrecked out in this one. That is a huge lineup of drivers getting wrecked there from that corner. And again, it's so hard not to want to do that because again, when you're going 3 wide on that track, you don't have very many opportunities to pass, and this car will not really give you very many opportunities to make a move like that. So again, I don't blame Brian McCann for what he did. It's just unfortunate that it ended up going that route. So what that means is right at this moment, we got about 15, 14 drivers left out on the track still in this hunt. As Vincent Short and David E. Brown are already heading down into pit road. Looks like mechanical problems down there for both drivers. Both guys are going to have to figure out what's going on with the car and figure out how they can come back from it because they know their goose is kind of cooked out here with the way this one. Kathleen Martin coming on board saying who's winning tonight. Well, right now, currently, Cody Harger is your race leader, so I guess you could say he's the one winning this one. But again, we are early into this race. 150 laps to the distance. Currently 20 laps now completed. Up on lap 21 here. Still about 130 to go right here at the moment. Troy Radford coming up on the outside line, looking to try to make that hold off. Atlanta's outside banking's work to good use, as we've seen here plenty of times before. But on the inside zone, Tim Schofield smells blood in the water, sees an opening, and like a shark going after his prey, he strikes at the right opportunity, sneaking it straight down off the corners down through in turn #2. Trying to find an opening around there with Troy Radford, though, holding the outside and some drafting right behind him. That's kind of helping him really gain some ground clearance and some momentum to hang on into this place and into this position. Looking to hang on as long as he can, maybe give himself a little bit more ground clearance, more runoff. Driver starting to get into that one-line driver pack here. The train going in to full effect. It's time for the choo-choo draft train putting on here. Usually I call it the Daytona Talladega draft train, but I mean, well, the new bankings as well, folks. We do know that with that repave that Atlanta Motor Speedway has done now, we do know that it's pretty much turned this track into a sharp edge Daytona, as someone told me earlier. And I'm still a little bit mixed on that one. As we're going around the races, we'll just talk about this for a second, but I'm a little bit mixed about that Atlanta Motor Speedway repave. Now, admittedly, yes, the track did need a repave, like we said before. It was literally breaking at the seams. It was getting tore down. But I will say that one thing I really am not a fan of is just the fact that they went and did that, but they really can't figure out whether or not they wanted to do it as if they wanted to have it as a showcase like that, or they wanted to actually do something a little bit different. Because I mean, to me, you don't want to have too many plate tracks on the schedule. You already got 2 listed, Daytona and Talladega twice. So having an Atlanta Motor Speedway race, I mean, you have 2 of those, then you got 6. And no offense to anyone that likes plate track racing, but to me, 4 is enough. because it really, what helps is you allow it to keep it keeps the, I'm trying to figure the word I'm looking for here, guys. I'm having trouble figuring this one out. It keeps the prestige, and it keeps the actual, like, it keeps the gimmick, if you will. I guess that's the wrong word to use, but it keeps the whole point, the whole gimmick of what plate track racing represents and what it is by having it out there. Taking the date like this at Atlanta and then pretty much putting it into that kind of track racing, which really was what NASCAR was kind of doing in the first place with all the tracks. It just completely nullifies and changes everything out. Roger Bo's coming on board here tonight, seeing video. What's going on with that? I'm not sure, to be honest with you. Guys, let me know down in the comment section below as well. Is the video not showing up as well for you guys? I'm seeing it currently right now on 720p, so. Yeah, it looks fine on my end. Occasionally my usual flurries and stuff, as the Glitchcrafter Gremlins like to keep annoying me there, but everything else looks pretty fine to me. Brandon Medford now, we're looking down through the back straightaway down into turn number 3 here, the 83. Trying to pile it down off Tim Schofield here in the number 12. Schofield trying to hold on. And again, you can see that drafting zone really helping out both drivers as Chris Medford kind of keeps everybody in check, although I guarantee he's probably trying to help more out his teammate here in Brandon Medford. Family blood ties run deep, and on a track like this, you certainly need them to run a little bit deeper than usual. Jared Widener saying winning 1080, it looks fine to me. Roger saying 1440 here. Wait a minute, 1440p? How the heck are you getting 1440p? I got this thing set to 1080p. Well, while I currently try to figure out how PCs work or how the technology works, I'm just going to keep calling the races as we see it, folks. That's why I'm not a math whiz or a technical guy. I just know how to call a race and just come out and do this. Or at least you guys think I do, so I appreciate that. Neil Quick right now currently trying to pull the chains up even more. He's up 7 spots at the moment right now. Hard charging his way into the position, but Chris Medford, your number 1 hard charger tonight. He's 14 up, tied with Ray Radford in the 47. Both drivers 14 in positions, but for Ray, he's going to need a bit of a caution or something to help him get back up there with the field, because he's not going to get that speed off of anything with these guys. That's the one thing I extremely hate about this car, unfortunately, is that, and I don't mean that disrespectfully, I mean legitimately, I hate that, is the fact that once you get away from the backs, you get away from that draft, it's almost impossible to get these cars back in line and back into position, and it's going to be just a bit of a troubleshoot, a bit of a troublesome here. It's very unfortunate. It just kind of gets real bad here, to say the least. But the good news is, like I said, it really does force drivers to kind of keep close to the distance and keep them further in position. But I mean, there are things in racing you just cannot control, and one of them is definitely the chaotic nature of it. So that's why I've always been kind of a proponent of just letting more horsepower in, so that way it keeps drivers closer together and really makes them work for it. Well, just saying kind of what I've been thinking. Yeah, it looks good. I think it's all pixelated. Yeah, I'm not really sure where the pixelations come from, because we've set the settings in just right. We've got everything. Believe it or not, it's a lot worse. It used to be a lot worse. I'll tell you that right now. So hopefully it looks a little less pixelated come the YouTube end when we get that up later on. But speaking of turn number 4, by the way, watch down the turn 3. Troy Radford finally getting a runoff on Cody Harger, and Harger giving him the rundown and give him the line. It's now time for Harger to take full advantage here. He's got a bit of ground here. It's clearing. Still a lot of time left here. Right now, Kyle Pengraff currently holding back about a second and a ninth here. Actually, about a 2-second lead over Brian Reich in that 12R. Reich right now trying to hammer down with the 15. Holler Boy racing Vincent Short. Whoa. A little bit of a switchback there coming off turn 4. Right, getting a little too hard on the arch and actually had to swing it right and left there to get it stabilized down. The problem with it, again, like I said, with running off these corners here is they're very tough to master, tough to hang, because they're very sharp-ended, sharp-turned, to where they'll really catch you off guard at your least and your worst of times. And we're just seeing a bit of that and then some right now, I feel, as drivers continue to try to muscle through the track and muscle through the field and find openings when they can get it. Troy Radford still your race leader right now. Harger trying to get an opening or two. And one thing to kind of note as well is that, yes, they are going to be having those everlasting point added in here throughout the race, as we got a caution down here in the back straightaway. Brian Wright comes to a dead halt in the 12R. Damage there on the left rear end, on the left side there, the rear end, if you will. That will bring us to the PTM instant replay here. Take a look at this one here and let's see what happened. Brian Snare and Bobby Hamilton Jr., by the way, have unfortunately left the building. So it looks like, unfortunately, their car's just a little too destroyed out and for their own pleasure here. So that's a tough break there for them. But let's see what happened here. The 12R Reich, presented by R&R Racewear. Here is your PTM Racing TV instant replay. And looks like coming off of 2 there. I mean, we saw earlier that they had troubles kind of getting around that corner, kind of getting around that end, but I'm not really sure really what went wrong there, what went down, because it looked like the car just kind of took a straight up nosedive. Let's take a look on the replay here on the cockpit view. Looked like the car just was getting all out of control right as they were leaning in. And again, it's extremely difficult to get a feel for these cars, because one thing that's just kind of hurt you is the fact that that steering issue is in play. The travel from the front to the rear can be very hard to tell and very tricky to kind of counteract. I can tell you this from experience, because I've ran these things at short tracks, I've ran them on the big tracks, and even on the big ovals like Daytona and Talladega. I can tell you right out of the gate, the problem is it's just they have no feel to them. And when you get around the corners, it can really just completely send you for a loop, because usually you have some kind of real force feedback kind of grip there in that wheel, but it's just not there, unfortunately, in these cars. Charles Whitehead coming on board saying, "What up, PTM?" Charles, great to have you on board, sir. Hope you're catching some of our new add-ons we put on here. Don't worry, we have those added for when you run your races coming up. For those that don't know, he does run in the Green Mountain Girls Fast and Fun Truck Series, as well as the Champion Power Equipment Fast and Fun Cup Series. So y'all be sure to tune into those on Monday nights and Tuesday nights here on PTM Racing TV. And while you're at it, hit that like button here on PTM Racing TV, as well as that follow button, and follow us up here. Head over our YouTube on subscribe on PTM Racing TV. Check all the action there and all the races we've had over the times we've been. And also check out our other social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Base car currently getting everyone situated out. Still nobody lined up into position just yet. So as our drivers get ready for the restart zone here, everyone piloting it back down around the track, getting centered away. Still got over 100 laps remaining here in this race at Atlanta Motor Speedway tonight. 150 laps to the distance, really a tough time for everybody kind of getting through that first major wreck there, and then the second wreck comes up. And really, I'll say this too: once you get kind of those tires burnt in a little bit, and you got everything kind of situated out, it becomes a bit of a hassle to kind of keep these things online, keep them more under control. And even in real life, folks, NASCAR drivers have told us that we've heard from them that they saying that because this track's the new repaved track is now like a Daytona version with sharper edges and corners. I mean, looking at how these cars are handling versus how they'll handle now, and the fact they're already kind of tough as it is, I'm not really sure. I mean, how they're going to be able to keep these kind of plate racing style mentalities with this car on this track, and not expect at least some kind of issue. They're probably kind of stirring in and down the road. So I think really it's going to be evolving now around: do you try to force the issue, or do you try to save your car? If it was me out there, I would have tried to hang back a little later on and just kind of wait it out until time came. Then I would try to go for broke when it really matters. That'd be how I would look at it. But again, well, these drivers don't exactly like to do that. Want to put on a show for you, but also have a little fun in their own right. Green flag back on now. We're back on our way. Hey, look at Chris Mefford already slamming it down on the inside zone with a 94. Troy Radford, he's got a run. He's got a seam. Can he get it down on the bottom and get a run off with it? Trying to hang in there, but A3 of Brandon Mefford, family member here, kind of going up top with Troy Radford, trying to gain the draft and the clearance zone. But the 46 of Chris not exactly done just yet. Troy now pounding this throttle and hammering it off to get a Cody Harger. Harger knows he could be in a little bit of a fiasco here, a little bit of trouble if he's not careful. I don't know how you feel about this, but I mean, just seeing those headlights and that look on that car's front end, man, it's a mean bean fighting machine. It's just I don't know about you, but I mean, someone does a paint scheme out there, they could probably get a real monster looking ride out there. It'd probably actually be a little bit of Intimidator style on these cars. Pacing them down out of turn 2, right down though. Mefford, Brandon, and Chris currently still right neck and neck with one another, but here comes Kyle Pengraff on the number 14, as well as the 54 of Cook Quick. Starting to make it a little quick, to make it a little snappy and hit it right down on the track zone. He's got Tim Schofield on the inside here for just a brief fleeting second, as Chris Mefford now challenges right up to the front, getting right in there with his family member Brandon again. Cody Harger doing everything he can to block the bottom, block the middle, block the top side, and he knows if Troy gets one run on him or gets any kind of momentum, he can have this happen. Here comes the draft once more. Troy Radford trying to hang in there. Oh, he's going to put it real close for Troy. He gets a little sideways right out of turn 2. Right out of turn 4, excuse me, but he was able to hold it. Nice save there out of turn 4 for Cody Harger. Downside for him, though, is he lost a lot of ground and time for that one. That was no man's land. He was in, had to pull back the reins, pull back the momentum, and stay out of trouble here. Tim Schofield and Cook Quick, because that little error actually take the race lead away. And a very delicate process and a very big move there by both drivers. Here's a look at the PTM Instant Replay. Here's the move that got them both there. Radford getting right in there with Cook Quick. Had it backed off. And then it was Schofield and Quick that got right in the inside. Radford saw it. He was in trouble. And you can see right there the 54 just pounding it away and just managing to get him right up ahead and back into this fray and back into the fight. Wow, pretty impressive stuff here out of the game. Pretty good stuff, to say the least, so far for these drivers, and just really just shows kind of the whole ordeal of what these drivers have to face time and time again. Chris Mefford now trying to deal with some company here from Vincent Short. Vincent currently quite a few laps down. He's 2 laps in total down at the moment. He needs all the help he can get, and those lucky dogs are going to be a saving grace. Hammering away there on the 46. Chris Mefford trying to hang in there. Chris Wally now looking to pilot it down on the bottom end. Chris Wally. I mean, every time, I'm going to say this real quick too. Chris Wally, man, I really feel bad for him because it seems like every time I talk good about him, or I talk some real good stuff with him, I always seem to give him the old broadcaster curse. That darn curse that just keeps coming back once in a while, keeps getting him every now and then. I always seem to get him in the wrong place at the wrong time. So I've decided tonight I'm just going to keep my big fat mouth shut and not mess with him on that end and leave him alone. I think that might actually be a bit of a better help from him in this case. Speaking of a better help, we got a new leader here, Cook Quick. He's going to take a lead lap as well here. Tim Schofield got a point from that. Quick will get one himself. He takes the lead over from Schofield and, well, pretty much the whole field of drivers and Radford and the rest of them. He's got a 2.5+ second gap, and actually he's starting to actually increase that by the minute. I don't know if that's going to last out with that tire pressure and the way the tires handle on tracks like this. But I mean, the one thing that is kind of a saving grace for him that Atlanta Motor Speedway does kind of bring to the table is that fact that it is a little slicker track out here. And because of those sharp edges, it might actually be able to let him kind of stay ahead of the transitions, stay ahead of the drivers for a bit more longer than most would be able to get to. Field coming down right out of turn one yet again. Cherry, Jakowski, Harder coming aboard saying show the number 94, banging it to the front. Well, I would, but really, honestly, he was kind of banging the front most of the race, so he's actually pretty much been doing that all day. So I guess I'll just keep an eye on him now because he had to make a big move right off of that 22. The driver on that one is number 22. Looks like that's being piloted by Matt Kopp here. Matt currently having all sorts of problems. He got a front end completely destroyed and a Renault's gone on that one. And Radford looking to hang on to the top side here while the 66 of Harger tries to play him like a fiddle and play him like a bass. You can see Schofield just up ahead now. These drivers are battling hard for their positions, but they forget they also have to get drafted up quickly to the race later, which right at this moment is that 54 Cook Quick. Still hanging in there, and really it just gets me a little bit nervous when they come off of turn 4. How much will they be able to hold these things online? Will they be able to will they be able to avoid the troublesome situations that can present themselves here? Wally now, I was about to say, it looks like he was getting a little too aggressive there and cut off at turn 2, but it was actually Harger that failed to maintain the distance and maintain the runoff, gets himself into a bit of a bad spot there. The 15 of Vincent Short, remember he has a couple of laps down, so he's just trying to stay out of the way. Meanwhile, Kyle Pengraff on the 14 now goes to battle here with the number 2 of Neil Quick. Neil right now looking to continue his absolute pure race dominance and pure unalterated horsepower in the season championship standings. And yes, I will be talking about that here in a minute here come our first stage break. And also just a heads up for those at home that don't know, we unfortunately did not have time to get the points standings done this week. Believe me, there's a reason, and it's mainly because the holidays and also we were extremely busy. Like I said, we had a lot of things here at the PTM Racing TV studio. We had to do a lot of things here around this place. It may not seem like it now, especially when you see stuff like this going down here and a big wrecking lighting on the back straightaway. And it's Vincent Short in the 15 and Chris Wally in the 5, unfortunately. And it looks like my curse somehow found a way to rear its ugly head. There is no caution though thrown. Drivers are continuing to drive on. No caution yet. We'll see if the caution is thrown here in a minute, but let's take a look what happened here out of turn number 2. Presented by R&R Racewear. Here's what happened. Whoa. It looks like Wally just completely mishandled the turn 2 end, and you see that rear end slid right underneath him. And again, I gotta believe a lot of that was just due to the fact of lack of feedback and a lack of control. There's not a whole lot you can do in that position when you don't have any feedback coming from your wheel or your pedals. And that's exactly what happened there. You see Brian Rose back on the track for that brief fleeting moment. Good to see him finally get the car back out after that troublesome situation. Brian McCann as well as Brian Snare. Brian Snare, Mitchell Snare, they're both out. Dakota Clark, Hunter Clark, they're still in the race, but they need to get back out on the track to continue some laps and get some positions taken care of. Bobby Hamilton Jr. is also out. He has left the building. David Tremblay, Brian McCann, Mike Harper, they are done as well. Brian Rose, Matt Kopp in the top 18. They're the last ones remaining of our field. It really was just all because of a bad cut-off spot there off turn 4 that continued to hurt everyone in their troublesome situation. Firing down right now, down out of turn number 3 here. Chris Medford trying to hang in with the 66 Cody Harger, while Troy Radford is now literally back where he wants to be and looking to catch Cook quick, but let's just say right now he's going to have a better time catching him in the stage break here. 7.5 seconds plus gain right now for Cook quick. That 54 is absolutely taking over stage 1 here. Chris Medford, the hard charge of the night. He's currently 15 spots up, currently keeping it right there with Troy Radford. Radford looking to try and keep the advantage and play with the Spartan iRacing IROC Series Track Time Entertainment R&R Racewear number 494. Off the corner's end here, they'll now make another pass around one of our guys here. Looks like that might be going to get a number on him there. I think that might, well, no, I think that might have been the, I was going to say, I think that's the 40, but I think it's actually the 47. Nope, it's not. Ray Radford as a caution flags come on out. And I believe, judging by everything here, that is our stage break caution. So the number 54 of Cook Quick, surprising. Quite a few drivers out here, as well as a major amount of drivers from the early go. So it sounds like he's revving up that motor a little bit. I think he's a little bit happy he's got a stage win to his name. But again, don't get too on yourself now. You still have a lot of racing left here on PTM Racing TV. Don't go anywhere, race fans. When we come back, can Cook Quick keep his dominance, or will Troy Radford and Chris Medford have something to say about it? Many names to come, many names to go. We'll find out more when we return here to PTM Racing TV. Tonight's race, ladies and gentlemen, has been brought to you in part by our good friends over at Spartan Logistics Management, LLC. By R&R Racewear, the official iRacing merch store. By Loud Pedal Gaming TV, smashing the loud pedal for your viewing entertainment. By simspeedshop.com. By Track Time Entertainment. By 5-Star Graphics. A big thank you from the iRacing IROC series, as well as us here at PTM Racing TV. It's always good to see the community kind of come together here as we're ready to get the drivers filled down into pit road. Now it's time to take a look at our positions here for the point standings of the season so far. And boy, what a wild one it has been, man. This one's been pretty much all over the place and all out of control on who's going to take what and who's going to take when. But as we look at the standings right now, going into tonight, Neil Quick has a solid performance on his hands with 2 points up ahead of Brian McCann. And he is still in this race, by the way, compared to Brian McCann is out at the moment. That big wreck cost him a lot of time and chances to get up with them. Chris Medford was solid 267 here at the moment. Currently about 20 out of Neil Quick, but thankfully he still can make up for it with some added points here. If he can get himself a few of those stage wins as well as the overall race win, and as well as some laps led, well, they'll be pretty much set to go for this one. He just needs those and a little bit more. Troy Radford currently back by a solid margin, but 256. He's been hanging in there with this crew and hanging in with these guys all day long. Aaron Smith II, the reigning defending champion here right now. He is not with us tonight. Aaron Smith was not able to make the call. 240 down, top 5. Cody Harger with a 234 right now, currently in the pacing here in 6th. Second to Cook Quick, 227. Vincent Shore with 216. Brian Rose in 9th with a 211. Then Tim Schofield with a 197 right now. So that top 10 right there with only about 6 races in out of our elusive 29 race series. It's not too bad, not too shabby to say the least here, because there's still a lot of positions to go, a lot of places to be there. Kevin McCann running the 175 here, Chris Wally with the 168, Mike Harper with the 164, Hunter Clark 162, Brandon Medford 157, Kyle Pengraff tied with him at 157. Dakota Clark and David Tremblay tied both N17s with 141. Matt Kopp though with a 139, while Douglas Wysocki with a 138. Mike Hendricks with 115. Ray Radford at 104. Jesse B. King at 85. David E. Brown at 81. Brian Reich with 80. Carson Conway at 70. Brian Snare at 65. Mitchell Snare at 59. Jared Widener at 58. Joshua Funkhauser at 37. Daniel Vieira at 34. And then Bobby Hamilton Jr. with a respectful 19. Come on into today's showcase. So this is our third caution of the day, of course, and remember folks, this was a stage break, so our first stage out of the 3. Unfortunately though, we did have 2 wrecks involving some drivers earlier on, and that is the 4 Iverson Mad of Mike Harper. I was trying to figure out earlier who he was there. It's good to know where he's now at in the track zone and in position. Field ready to build him back down and put him back up for grabs. Cookwick having a little bit of a later pit stop there. Troy Radford doing much the same. Troy, I think, maybe trying to get as much of those tires and that fuel as he can get here, and the damage cleared up on his car. Drivers, though, are ready to pick him back down and really put a fight up on position. We're just about halfway through this one right now, folks, and at this moment, Harger has had some problems throughout his moments and throughout his race today. Can he finally get this figured out and get this car a little bit more squared on the track? That's going to be the thing here. Piling him off out of turn number 4 this time by. Here off to the front straightaway they go. Green flag back, eye in the air, and now it is time to let him loose and feel the momentum and bring on the power. Brandon Medford immediately getting right there with the family member Chris, trying to put both guys in play, trying to put them in position to move ahead of the 66 and the whole field. That's one thing I will say really kind of comes into play is when you can get some teamwork done here between the drivers, between the track zone as well. And that's exactly what's going to happen here. Chris and Brandon 1 and 2. Meanwhile, right behind the field right now, the number 94, Troy Radford, trying to hammer through some lap traffic. You see the 96 of David Tremblay there for a brief fleeting moment. Kind of hammering off there with the 14 of Kyle Pengraff. David Tremblay still rocking that schemed up design that was run for the retro theme schemes. A lot of these guys kind of reverting back to, if you will, the original schemes they came out with, the original stuff they were supposed to run. Pretty cool to see and pretty good to see it nevertheless. The 18 right now being called under the position as well here, not done just yet. That 18 being mandled by Hunter Clark. You can see kind of a little bit of that interstate battery design on that one. I definitely like the look of it, to say the least. Out of all the normal IROC series schemes, I definitely like it quite a bit. So good on him for kind of keeping that tradition alive. Doug Wysocki, the number 34, currently right in the hunt, into the brink of things. He's currently up to the top 5. Thanks to a little bit of that help from the 5 cautions, as well as the caution flags popping out when he needed them to. He definitely can hold more than just a top 5 car, though. We've seen him fight it out with the leaders before, and in my opinion, I feel like he may be actually able to have a bit of a chance, bit of a shot to do that and then some here when all is said and done. Question is, will he be able to get that done in the way he knows how? Will he have opportunity to strike when the iron is there? It's easier said than done to really get a move on or two, and really harder to even make it work long term. But there are those out there that can do it and that have been known to do it. Brandon and Chris Medford just currently holding down the fort, holding down the race lead. Cody Harger, I think at this moment, is just kind of being very well aware that he's going to have to just watch for the opening and watch for the timing shoot here. Through the field right now, currently Neil Quick in the number 2. Brian Right Heyman there with the 54. Cook Quick. Looks like the Quick boys are going to need to kind of pick this up a notch or two. Maybe trying to look maybe to push each other in through the field and in position to get up there with Brandon Medford and Chris here. Both guys are obviously using their ties, their bloodline to run deep into the field and in the track and keep that race lead. But Quick, Benil and Cook, they're no strangers to actually getting some runoff on these guys either. They've been known to put up a fight and put on a show once in a while. But we get a bit of that here. Pounding them around down out of corner number 2, though. You can see a little bit of movement right up front as David Tremblay in the 96. He is not giving anything to the leaders here. Apparently, he thinks he needs to do everything he can and wants to do all he can to try to get some laps back. I will say right now, though, he is so far behind the field. That's a good, literally, he's pretty much down about 30-some plus laps right now at the moment. Actually, he's about 24 laps down. Or no, 20, okay, 25, that's the final number, guys. 25 laps for David Tremblay. He is, at the moment, and really a lot of it, again, just had to bowl around that little circumstance that involved having to go into pit road and get a whole cleanup job. Remember, when you're in iRacing, folks, and you iRacers know what we're talking about here, but when you're running for the first time in iRacing, one thing that is a bit of a hassle, a bit of a troublesome shoot that you have to work around is when you have a car getting damaged up at any time or any place, you then have to figure out how to kind of work around time and around the clock to make sure that it wasn't damaged too bad, because there are certain repairs you must do and you must have the car in somewhat of tip-top shape. Otherwise, it will be considered illegal to run and will not be allowed to run anymore. And that's happened plenty of times here on the show, where we've seen a guy that just had a completely tore up piece of equipment, but still managed to race out there and keep it going. Just hoping and praying that nothing breaks off or really gets them into trouble here. Kyle Pengraff with the number 14, man, he's last season, I tell you what, he was really hammering in with those NASCAR Gander Outdoor Truck Series. This season, obviously, though, had not played very well to him or been very kind to him, if you want to stay in the top half. Considering he's representing my 14 number out on that track, you got to be doing a little bit something better than this, man. I really hope he takes good care of that 14 coming throughout the rest of the season, because right now he hasn't been running up in the high ends and the high spots. He's been just kind of hammering in with what he can and do what he got on the track. Chris Wally with more troubles down here, unfortunately. The number 5 stumps to a dead halt here on the back straightaway, puts it in reverse, wants to get out of the way for the drivers. No caution done just yet. Well, I should take otherwise now. Looks like caution may have actually popped out here. We'll take a look in a minute. We'll see with the PTM replay what happened here. like I said, I just cannot talk anything good about Wally, because I mean, if I talk about him on the track, there's always something pops up and it just completely nullifies his race, and I feel so bad because I feel like I am legitimately giving him the broadcaster curse. Caution, Dad's not falling by the way here. We just had a little miscommunication from our producers here. Facing their way down to the zone, into the field they go. And right at the moment, it is still anybody's guess, anybody's chances here on who will take what. Chris Medford and Brandon Medford right on the attack, right on the approach. Neil Quick piling right behind with Hargrove in the mix here. You can see it right now, Neil Quick, man, this is the reason why he is literally leading this whole season out and pretty much been dominant as he is. He's been playing strategies. He's been finding the time, the place, and the moment to go on the attack and really watch every spot and rush himself on every little end of the track. He hasn't really found himself in trouble. He hasn't gotten himself into a bit of a habit of making a mess of himself or getting into a bad position. He's just been making and maintaining good runs and good consistent overall speeds through the corners and each turns. And it doesn't really hurt that also a little bit of that help kind of comes from family and kind of comes from the drafting that hits up on this track here. I know Cook and Neil very much work together outside of the service and outside on the other end of the spectrum because they really want to try to help each other out as much as they can. It certainly has a commanding respect there between the two family members. You can almost say there's like complete brothers in arms here. Brandon Medford, the BM effort, currently trying to hold 66 of Cody Hargrove back still. Remember Brandon earlier on had a great runoff and a great battle between him and Hargrove, but unfortunately Hargrove found himself in a bit of a troublesome situation, got himself into a bad spot, and you hear a wall protection hit coming off that first on that turn 3 in. Hargrove smack dab on the wall. Neil Quick to the inside, and yet again Neil Quick's going to have himself a chance and a half here to take over more positions and more points. He now moves into the 3rd place spot. And remember, when we get that final, when we get that 2nd stage, those points, they'll add up, and they're going to make things a lot more hard for drivers to catch up to him. If Neil can start somehow, some way, find a way to keep this strong strength in this season going, this season could be over with before it even got started. And I think drivers are very well aware of that. They're going to have to start taking things in their own hands and start figuring out how to beat him out, because when you see stuff like this is just ridiculous. He just somehow finds a way to get as much grip and as much cornering as he wants, and he is just not giving an inch here whatsoever down that back straightaway, folks. Brandon Medford opened the door up, and the 2 was like, don't mind if I do, and just kind of waltzed right into the doorway. And Brandon says, I'm not too fond of letting uninvited guests into my building, sir. You may now leave at your disposal. And right now, Medford sneaking his way back to the inside, crossover from the back stretch down to the bottom. And Medford with the crossover, slide job, move up from the bottom to the top. Nice job there, but Neil Quick isn't done yet, and they know they got to be careful here. Chris Medford is starting to gain a little bit of ground. If he can get away from him here, he might be able to actually have himself a bit of field day there. Things just crazy and pretty much all over the place today, and been pretty much an absolute fight and a half for every single one of these drivers out here. It really is amazing just how well these guys, they know each other so well. They've really been racing around each other for so long. They've really kind of grown accustomed to taking each other to their limits and to their fullest, but that's the one thing I absolutely respect and love about this league, is that they really still treat everyone with care and with honor. And yes, you may have heard plenty of times on the broadcast where these guys are like, thanks to the admins and all them for dealing with our stuff, but it's like, yeah, at the end of the day, we're all drivers. We're going to get mad. We're going to get frustrated with each other. I don't think I've got to make that obvious. Even in my races I do in the official series, if I ever was doing streaming or anything like that, I'll tell you guys right now, you would hear me probably lay down a few words or probably a few things when something bad happened or something just kind of hit me up there. Chris Medford right now, the number 46, still hanging in there here as Brandon Medford continues to fight it on down at Pill. His position back on by. Onto that back straightaway here. You can see Neil Quick though has got Chris Medford in his line of sight, and like a red-eyed beast from the late 80s in the movies, he is now having his target set to feast on his prey because Medford is in trouble. Quick has got a good run here, and he's got a lot of momentum carrying through in these corners. He's gonna have to try to find a way to hold on. Battling away still right now. Some of the guys are up ahead earlier on, like Troy Radford, currently trying to find their mojo, trying to get some of their speed back here. Unfortunately, not quite getting much of that and lost a lot of time there because the draft kind of switching up a bit. And again, a lot of that just really involving also positions and how they've hit their corners, how they've hit their spots up. You got to remember, a lot of these drivers, when they came out here today, their first priority and plan was probably to stay more in line and in tune with staying closer together and not trying to let each other get too far behind or back or ahead, if you will. Again, that overall problem is when you got that lack of speed, you got that lack of control, it makes things a lot harder to really build up speed and build more runoff in those wing spoilers back there. The way they are sized up so high, that really makes it for a much more difficult scenario. Obviously, we do know with they'll have a little bit of a lower spoiler, a smaller spoiler, and as well as higher speed when we get them updated here. I hope sometime here in the next couple of weeks, I would say. I would say this too. Cannot wait for the Daytona. Cannot wait for the Busch Clash, as well as down there at the Los Angeles Coliseum, as well as of course the Daytona 500 when that pops up. I'm telling you, folks, I really do not know how much I miss NASCAR until it was just behind me and beyond my imagination. It's been so long. I'm ready to see it. And I want to go see some more racing. It's not just NASCAR too. Come in April, man. That's when our racing world starts back up. And believe me, here in my town, that's what we want. We want to come back here. We want to see it all. So at the moment right now, Neil Quick right there on the rear bumper here of Chris Mefford here. Mefford trying to hang on though as Neil looks for an opening here to slingshot him by. Judging by how hard he's racing him here, I would say he's probably provoking, getting one step closer to the end of our stage break. Number 2, Neil Quick here, hanging on for dear life, trying to hang on for anything he can. I mean, excuse me, Chris Mefford doing that. Neil actually, I think he's just kind of on cruise control here the way he's driving. And I try to figure out like how that is and how is that even possible, but it all boils down to one thing. I think it's just pure consistency. I think Neil really has kind of mastered these cars in a way that no one else has been able to do yet. I think he really took his time, he took his effort, and really kind of took a closer look at what he's doing and what he needs to bring to the table. And I think it's, in my opinion, that's why he is so tough to beat and so fast on the track. Doug Wysocki here moved right back to the field, almost 4 seconds back of Mefford in the leaders here. Troy Radford about 7/10 of a second ahead of him. And Wysocki actually currently your second hard chart of the night here. He's up 15 spots while Chris Mefford holds up the number 1 spot there with a solid 17 in the run and zone alone. He's been pounding that throttle in and starting back from the 18th place and really hasn't looked back since. Now look at Neil looking to swing shot down the inside zone. Looks like he's had enough of weight and he's had enough of dealing with this one. He'll fire it away off of corner number 4. And now look at this. Mefford trying to hang on. Looking for an opening or a way to survive and try to conquer this one. But Neil Quick, way too outgunned to let that happen. Pours on the throttle, all the tire he has left under the hood and all that momentum he's carrying through. Chris trying to hold for some help from Brandon Mefford. Mefford going right behind him, trying to draft off him. Neil sees it. He tries to block his draft. He lifts it up a little bit, maybe a little higher than he wants to. He'll fire it off here as Chris Mefford and Brandon go into pit lane. Neil will be your new leader and does lead a lap, so now he's already got a bonus point added to his name. Looks like the Meffords are paying very, very close attention to that fuel run and the pit strategy here. I think that's kind of their game plan here. That's what they're after. Time to take a look at your PTM Racing TV Pit Road Stop Pit Strategies, presented in part by our good friends over at Loud Pedal Gaming here. This is how it looks right now. So at the moment, you can see about a 40 lap distance gain. That's how far they went through on the positions and on the track zone. I will say right now, though, about 42 seems to be the mark. And you can see the lap counter there. We're going to need a little bit more than 42. So I don't know if that's going to exactly be enough here, considering everything in between. That could actually be more of a hassle to actually work around. But again, they had to go into pit road eventually. So they're doing what they do now to try to save for later. And I think at this moment here, they really got to be careful about it. Harger and Quick both in now. Chris Mefford gonna go out there with Brandon Mefford here as Brandon's stuck in pit road. Still looks like a speeding penalty for him in the 83. Doug Wysocki right now looking to maybe make a little bit of a head scratch and change here on the guys and make them think about this one a little bit twice before doing that move on them. Cody Harger, a little bit of problems down there. Looks like he's going to come to a dead halt, put it in pit road. He is having problems all day long, and he's just continuing to struggle with it even more. Boy, a tough break there for the number 66, and really his night's kind of on and over with here. There's just not enough time here with the way this has been. Neil Quick with the race lead. He planned out his strategy better than everybody else, and Medford saw that quite well, I will say. This is probably the hardest thing right now for Medford to really exert and really strategize here. Does he try to make the big move off Neil coming off the final ends of the turn, or does he just kind of let him on by here and save his car up for the final stage? Because remember, you look at that lap counter, you're seeing over 40 laps remaining. And you're also noticing that this track is slick, it's tight, it's hard. It's literally tearing everything up and tearing up so much equipment. It's now made it almost crucial just to survive and conquer, especially considering everything out on the track here. Coming down out of turn number 3 and 4. Looks like Medford's going to choose the latter of 2. He's going to play his cards here on the 2. Neil Quick looking for a way to block it. Can't find a way to block it there. Medford has enough run. He's got the momentum to carry it through to the bottom. Now to the crossover. Can he lift it up high enough to get around Quick? Quick's going to have to drive off that draft zone. Gonna put it right back in the back straight away here. Nice crossover by the 2, and Neil Quick saw him play his cards. Now he's gonna play his hand here. That Medford maybe bluffing a little bit here, maybe letting him go by just a little more, or maybe setting him up for another big pass here. Quick though, not giving up just yet. This is what racing is all about. 2 drivers, mano a mano, going side by side, fighting it out, one another, for the chance of a lifetime and the chance to become a champion down the road, or a race winner in this case. As the yellow flag comes out, that is the end of our stage. And right now, if you're Neil Quickamp, you got to be very, very happy and very satisfied with just how this one has been from start to finish. This season has been just absolutely tremendous for him and his crew, and I think he's very well aware of that and extremely proud of it. And really, it's kind of crazy to think that that is the case in the first place, but, you know, there's always a little thing in racing we say, you never know what you're getting until you don't have it anymore. Neil didn't have much last season. This season, he's got everything. He's got the tools in play, and he's got everything situated his way. Race fans, when we come back, your top 3, Cook Quick, Chris Medford, and Neil Quick, all securing points. However, there is still work that needs to be done, and there are plenty of guys out here that know how to do it. Which one will be able to grasp the reins and take this one to victory lane? Find out when we return. Tonight's race, ladies and gentlemen, has been brought to you in part by our good friends over at Spartan Logistics Management, LLC. By R&R Racewear, the official iRacing website for your merchandise needs. By Loud Pedal Gaming TV, smashing the loud pedal for your viewing entertainment. By SimSpeedShop.com. By Track Time Entertainment. By 5-Star Graphics. A very big thank you in large part from iRacing IROC Challenge Series, as well as us here on PTM Racing TV for your support and sponsorship to these drivers as they continue to finish out their great season. Been quite the season as it is, been quite a crazy season as it was. 4th caution of the day so far, and really that's hard to believe, but that is the case. Right now, the drivers getting settled back in here. Right at this moment, we'll have about 35 laps remaining when we get to that finish, and this could be the big saving grace point, because remember, you saw earlier our pit strategy was telling us about 42 laps in is where these drivers were having to go into pit road. Now the saving of the fuel is really no longer necessary. Now it's all about just timing and pacing out on the track here. Still wondering if maybe there will be one of these top 5. We're going to be able to kind of knock out some guys here and really take down a few spots at the moment. And also just something to kind of know, we haven't really talked about this yet, but at this time and day, right now, there's only 6 drivers on the lead lap, by the way. We started with 26 drivers. We got 6 on the lead lap. And again, it really all stems back to the first caution when the second place drivers had a 3-wide salute and pretty much the whole field got wrecked out because of it. I'm still waiting for the day I ever hear that we're going to have a whole field just completely wrecked out and that ends the entire race. I've never seen it. I don't know if it's even possible. I don't even think I ever want to see it, and I don't want to know, but it's kind of, my very, very dark, curious imagination is curious. Can that happen? Will it actually happen? I don't know, to be honest with you. It's really hard to say. But race fans right now, those that are staying on out, those that are fighting out, they're doing this for your viewing entertainment. They want you guys to come on board. Let them know you appreciate them. Let them know you want to see more action. They will be back next week as they will be traveling on down over to the land of Chicagoland. It's time to hit Joliet, Illinois, where we're going to see Chicagoland Speedway put on the track next time out. That should be a thriller and a fun one to watch, but off the green flag restart, it's time to hammer back down, and it's time to get things figured out once again. Number 14, Kyle Pengraff now moving up into the top 5. He's looking for anything he can, looking for any kind of charge left he's got under the hood. Doug Wysocki, the number 34, trying to hold him back, though, as they pound him away down through corners 3 into 4. Watch out for that 9 machine here, right down to the bottom end. The 9 is being handled and managed tonight. But don't quite have a number on him, unfortunately. Don't have quite a name on him, unfortunately. Hold on a minute. Oh, that's Paul Buzzle there. Well, I was about to say, he's supposed to be driving the number 1. Why is he driving the 9? That is a 9 on that car, isn't it? Yeah, that's a 9 right there. That's the top side of that thing's a 9. I don't know. Well, it's kind of curious to know how the heck that got switched around, changed up, but well, I guess it's piloting for the 9 machine tonight. And speaking of piloting it up from 9th in opposition, look at this now. Look at Doug Wysocki, the number 34, putting it right there with Chris Mefford as Mefford makes the pass around Neil Quick. Neil couldn't quite hold down the line, hold down the 4 of Mefford. Mefford looking to block from the bottom. Look at him blocking up top. He's trying to get Neil off his tail in here. And Doug Wysocki even now intervening just a little bit more. Remember, he's got a couple podium finishes from last season, but never got a win. He's looking to change that tonight. Chris Mefford, he knows what it takes to win. He's been in this shoe before. He's been the top dog before plenty of times. He's looking to do it again as they continue to roll the field out. Every single one of these drivers has a story to tell, and every single one of them has a real game-changer moment from all out of this race. Final 31 laps now in progression and in gear. This could get interesting. The saving tires and the fuel tire strategies are pretty much going the way of the dodo bird. Let's just say that right now. still in gear and in play right now as we watch from our blimp cam high above the track. This is what it's all about right now, folks. It's just watching these guys going at it here, left and right and all that, and then some. Jim Schofield, the number 12, he's had a bit of a career-making race for him and his crew tonight, being able to hang in there with this top half and with this field all day long. But Kyle Pengraff, much the same here, keeping the top 5 chances in play. Brandon Medford, though, well, his stage here in stage 3 was not exact. His final stage has not exactly been what he wanted to see or what he wanted to have happen. He is 3 seconds back on the field here. Chris is going to be all alone, and he's going to have to deal with a bunch of hungry wolves here when they come around to him. Schofield, Wysocki, I got to believe, probably came in close ties, keeping close together here, looking to make everything work, making everything play into their advantage. They know they cannot give anything up. They cannot let off the throttle. They got to make it take all day long. Right off the edge here now, Neil Quick right in play once again. You saw earlier on him pulling his little crossover move or two, the move or two of doom as we like to refer to, off of Medford. But right now, Neil's not exactly getting that same area, same playing field of advantage. He's going to have to be a little bit more cautious, a little bit careful here. Doug Wysocki now looking to make the move on the inside zone, looking to power base it right down through the corners here. Wasn't quite able to stretch it out just yet there. Wasn't quite able to get a little bit of a go around here on Quick. You see the number 40 there. That is being maintained and checked tonight by Jeff Napier. Napier actually, believe it or not, still in the top 10. Despite being literally like 2 laps down, he is still in that hunt actually with the top 10 drivers. So Troy Radford not far off from him if he can get another caution, if you will. Napier currently in 8th place at the moment, down 6 spots. He had a great qualifying time here. It started 2nd. Fell back early and then got trapped in the big wreck that happened right out of the gate. Hasn't been able to really get back into since. One thing I do want to kind of note as well here. Oh, whoa, hold on a minute. Tim Schofield, the number 12, a little loose off of turn number 2. And here comes Doug Wysocki back into the run-in with Kyle Pengraff falling from behind. When you make one slight mistake here with these next gen cars, man, they're a little bit unforgiving on that end because they will not let you get back in position as easy as you want. You're pretty much put into a bit of a hard charge kind of runoff, where you have to just grab draft as quick as you can, or you're going to be in trouble later. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now. Pengraff still right there with Schofield, trying to put everything he can to Wysocki, while Medford and Neil Quick continue to do justice and do business with one another. Napier staying right up ahead. Chris Medford is going to use that draft all to himself and use everything he can of it. As I was saying though, before they actually got a little hot there, with the recent news coming out that Motorsports Games has been bought out here by iRacing, or they've been acquired. There's been a lot of folks out there that have been kind of actually inquiring us about whether or not, maybe they would do console release of iRacing. My answer to that is completely no. I highly doubt that is what they're up to or what they're planning on doing. They may help Motorsport Games, other folks out there, actually get some better console games out there that really, improve and really do a little bit better with justice for how they want the physics to be had and the racing to be done. But I will say this. One big thing that a lot of folks kind of forget or kind of did not take away from that acquirement is actually Motorsport Games was actually Monster Games, not Motorsport Games. But Monster Games, the ones that they bought, they actually have the licenses to a few series out here that we don't necessarily have. Mainly, they do have mainly they have the Tony Stewart and the SRX licenses that we're aware of right now, and that they still have that. Well, that can mean one thing. Remember what I said earlier about the whole IROC series and wanting to also want to bring those SRX cars to the track? Well, I think we may get that wish. So just as a little no-brainer, I think that might be what's coming here in due time. I think we may actually see the SRX cars finally come out and very soon, as we got a little bit of a battle here with these IROC cars. I'll tell you why I'm a little more excited about that in a minute here with that YSRX and all that. But here at the moment, Chris Mefford and Neil Quick had a great side-by-side fight off of turn 2, but four, excuse me. But unfortunately, for that number 40 Napier, he was trying to get his lap back, trying to get himself back in position, ended up finding himself in a bit of a rut, bit of a troublesome shot. And Neil knows laps are winding down. He's only got 18 left to go. If he does not figure something out now, he could be in deep trouble. Anybody's guess who's going to make the mistake first, who's going to give the opportunity then and there. But the reason why I like the idea of having SRX though in this series, in the iRacing service, is actually because, well, IROC series was really the based on point of what SRX represented. Having actual SRX cars and the way they run, the way they are in general, I would say more than likely, to be honest with you guys, that's exactly what really iRacing needs, is a legitimate IROC series kind of style car. And these next gen cars, we know they're going to get updated because, well, they're really working with NASCAR really directly almost. So you know they're going to update them to feel more matched up. So in return, in total, I'd say really these guys may need another like IROC car out of there. I think the SRX cars would be perfect. I don't know. You guys let me know down in the comment section below. Do you think because of the acquisition with Monster Games, does that mean that the SRX cars will come to iRacing? Let me know in the comment section below, down here on YouTube and on Facebook. And while you're at it, we'll take a look at what happened here, because Neil Quick finally got a runoff here on Brandon Mefford, and Mefford was not able to hang him down just enough. Let's take a look at the replay here. This one happened about a couple laps before this. This is that old slingshot pass, that old slingshot maneuver. Neil's been doing it all day long, and he got a great jump on this one. Look at him swing into the inside zone. Look at him run down that 46. Mefford had nothing for him. Firing it off yet again, and there you see it, perfectly executed. The number 2 of Neil Quick getting a good jump at it and taking it over from him. But again, the reason I feel Chris Mefford did not try to cross him again through the final 2 corners, I think he's saving it up. I think right now Mefford is paying very close attention to those laps. He knows there's only a couple remaining, and he sees if he can keep the car from burning the tires up too quick and burning up the track too much, he might just have a chance here at actually doing one big crossover and hit him down there. And at this moment, we forgot all about Tim Schofield and Kyle Bengrab. And Bengrab, by the way, he's got damage on that right side. On that right front hood there, it's damaged and crinkled out a little bit. But I'll tell you one thing, he has not given an inch. Nor has he given up on this one. Looking to maybe pull the reins up and pull this one down and out of sight and out of mind. Maybe find a way to make Mefford and Neil Quick just keep racing each other out and forget that he's there. That's actually a pretty smart strategy. He could really play some good intimidation factor here if he gets them. Be 12 laps to go. There's nothing more I hate seeing. This is one more as a driver that I would hate to see than literally having to fight out one guy. Next thing I know, someone just comes right by me and takes it away from me. I've had it happen more often than not, I'll tell you that right now. Doug Wysocki here, the number 34. Give him credit's due, folks. Even though, unless the caution pops out, he's pretty much kind of a little bit of a troublesome situation here. There's not a whole lot he can do to catch him. But he did a tremendous job tonight, staying in this upper half and this upper echelon and making everyone work more so than ever before. And now, more than ever before, Tim Schofield looking to make base, trying to get himself a top 5 here as Chris Mefford and Neil Quick were right at it. Well, at the same time, Mefford, though, with the crossover, passing him off of a turn number 2. He found his opening, found his line, but Neil Quick found himself something else, too, with it. He snuck it right back on the turn 3. Mefford's got to cross him over again. Here they come down on turn 4. Mefford with a run. Side by side, Mefford, beautiful corner, 10 to go. Mefford is now right in the playing field zone. Neil Quick's going to have to hope for the best and catch him on another end here. Can he get him off a turn two yet again? Oh, look at this momentum boost there from Neil Quick, but it's not quite enough yet. He's got to charge it a little bit more. They are still in a dead heat, dead fight, dead everything. My goodness, folks. All right, just up slightly there into Mefford. Mefford has to back it off just a little bit, but he hangs on. It looks like Quick might have backed off a little too there coming off that corner. That gave Mefford enough time to regain his composure and build his speed back up. Oh, I'm going to tell you right now, those spotters are going absolutely crazy trying to tell each driver where you're at, where they're going, and the crew chiefs are yelling through their mics what to do. They are literally keeping them dead heated and focused on this moment. Lap traffic with the 38 there. Thankfully, the 38 was able to stay out of the way. Good respect there from Dakota Clark to let these drivers go out of here. Neil Quick though with a bobble. It's the grassy plains of Atlanta. He got the tires right in the bad spot. That's no man's land. That's the out of bounds. And that might have just cost him his race right there. Look at Chris Mefford just trying to charge it harder off the back straightaway. Trying to keep the draft away. Hear from him. 8 to go. Now change to 7. Neil, though, is right back there with him. He's not done yet. Kyle Pengraff and Doug Wysocki having a little bit of a fight here. Wysocki going to give one last run at Pengraff here. Maybe looking to steal a top 3 away after all, but he's still ways away from Tim Schofield. He's going to have to do a little bit better than that. On the edge of your seat racing right now between 5 drivers at the moment. And you don't need 26, you just need 5 putting on a show like this. I'll say that much now. Mefford hanging on. Quick trying to get him again, though. Schofield going to have his hands full if Wysocki gets around Pengraff. Pengraff blocking every inch of him, trying to make him move off from those positions. I swear, producers, we need that we need to find a way to get 2 screens up at the same time. How do we do it? We need to know. We got to figure this out eventually. Schofield just kind of doing his own thing, hanging in there, looking for if they maybe will make a mistake off of one another here up in the race lead. That between the 46 and the number 2. We are down to only 5 laps remaining here on PTM Racing TV, and this has been just an absolute tremendous fight from start to finish. Neither one giving an inch. Everybody doing their own thing, doing their own style of racing. Mefford trying to hang in there just a little bit more. Quick has to back it down yet again, but he's going to hang on to that draft. They collide there a little bit on the back straightaway, bumping and rubbing, racing to the end. Trading paint, looking for the lead. Swapping some paint once and right as well while you're at it here, and you've got yourself a fight and a half. Here comes lap traffic, though. The number 4, Mike Harper's going to have to get out of the way, and Quick's going to try to use that to his advantage. He pushes Mefford up a little bit on the outside. Mefford knows he's got to try to get him off that back straightaway. Harper just back down, but stay out of the way. Let him race. He does. He'll let him race. Good sportsmanship by him. Quick and Mefford still mono-a-mono, side by side. More contact made, and Mefford gets to the wall this time. Neil Quick last time backed off. This time he had no such thing. Neil now loses up. Now gains a lot of momentum on Mefford. Mefford, the one, loses position and loses time. And I guarantee you, Mefford's not going to forget this one anytime soon. That might result in some receipts to be dished out later on this season. Oh, and then Tim Schofield. Oh, Tim Schofield gets a piece of the corner there at the turn 3. Chris Mefford has completely lost it. He's spinning it out of turn 4. Can he save it? No. Caution's out! Caution's out! And the final 2 laps, it's going to be a green, white, checkered Mefford. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Neil Quick, I guarantee you, thought he was secured. He thought he had this one wrapped up. Now he's going to have himself a haymaker here because he's going to have to find a way to hold back an entire field in this one. Let's take a look at this one from this position. This right here is hard racing at its finest, at its toughest, and its strongest. This is too close to call, folks. This is too close cornered here. You can say what you want, but let's take a look here. Right here is where Quick was trying to hang in there with Medford, and Medford, you can see, trying to keep that draft, side drafting off him. Looks like Medford did bring it down slightly at Neil, so I gotta say Medford is the one, actually, that got himself into this position to begin with, but that then led to this glaring issue that transpires right here. Watch very carefully as he brings it right off the ends here. You're going to see Tim Schofield just come push it right up to him, put it right in position. Here's the opening. Here's the moment. Try to get the inside. Medford blocks. Medford tries to straighten it. Got that rear end still sideways. And that little hip off the hump and off the spot. Medford's trying to save it. And just can't get it. And then the crossover, little spin around there. Flagman sees it, gets told by the officials, get the caution out. And boy, oh boy, this is going to be an absolute fight out. And Medford, well, he's got a set of 2 tires on that thing. Oh, he's going to try and drive out Neil Quicker. Look at this. He's going to try and beat him out. Can he get him? Oh, side by side of the line, but Neil Quick's going to barely edge him out off the end there. Wow. Well, Medford, he did not waste time getting that thing out of pit row, that's for sure. Took 2 tires. I think Neil only took 2 as well. Let's take a look at the pit stop time here. I believe right now, yeah, it looks like it was pretty much a dead heat. Both drivers were pretty much locked and loaded there. By about a 12-second distance there on both drivers. That was the difference on getting those 2 tires put on the car. Chris Medford came so close to winning a couple times here, and I think he's trying to remind Neil Quick here. He's not exactly out of this one yet. Doug Wysocki, though, I said earlier, unless he can get a caution or some, and need some help here. I think he finally found it and got a lot of help, more than I think most even realized he was going to get. And Tim Schofield and Brandon Medford are now back in this fight, in this fray. Kyle Pengraff cleaned up a lot of damage on that front end. Look at this. He's got a clean car and it's ready to go. And I believe he took 4 sets of tires on that car as well. So now he might be the proverbial favorite on the restart here. It's hard to say. I'm trying to go back and forth between these guys, figure out who's going to be the one that really takes this one home and fields this one into advantage point. But there just really has not been a single determining factor. I mean, really, no matter how you look at it, either way, we're going to see ourselves a green-white checkered position one way or another. That's not changing anytime soon. But oh boy, I think this one might leave me out of breath here, folks. And the thing is, we have another race coming up tomorrow night. The return of Backfire Sim Racing. Yes, folks, they're back. And they are coming out with a vengeance. You will see them all live here tomorrow night, live here on PTM Racing TV. Be sure to like and follow us up here on our Facebook. Head over to our YouTube, subscribe there. Check out our other social media platforms, Twitter and Instagram, so you never miss any of our shows. You never miss when we're going live or what's going to go down. Race fans, this is your green-white checkered attempt, number 1 of 3. Neil Quick. The mad, fast, bad, tough son of a gun right now. He has been absolutely on it tonight. He's been on it this entire season. Can he hang on and do it again? Pull off another W in his win column. He wants to add another one to his resume. Chris Medford, so close, so many times, so far, and yet finds himself in a position to once again go at it and maybe find a victory off of this run. If he can, he's going to have to do it with a completely broken down car. That car is damaged really bad and it's not going to hold up very long. He's going to need these 2 laps to help him out and maybe take a chance at it. Those tires are going to be a saving grace for Doug Wysocki. Never been to victory lane. Never visited the top spot. He's been there so many times, come so close yet so many times, yet so far. Can he get it tonight? Tim Schofield also been in that hunt before, never got the win. Well, that changed here. Brandon Medford, he knows what it takes to win. He's been there before. There are so many storylines playing into it. Just let him race it out. Here we go to the green flag restart. Run him down, run him hard. Turn 1, 2. Medford is done for. That car is just too badly damaged. He needs help. Wysocki now to second. And look at him charge on the outside. Takes the draft away. He's looking for help from Brandon Medford. He's not going to get it. He's not going to get any help. Medford now going to come right through the field. He's going to march his way up to Neil Quick. White flag is out. Wysocki and Medford, though, battling hard here. Neil Quick loves every minute of what he's seeing. This is exactly what Neil wants. This is exactly what he needs. Medford needs to cross him. He does. He crosses Doug Wysocki there. Now looking for the draft. Looking for any help he can get. Coming off a corner end, number 3. Down into turn 4. Neil Quick is going to put this thing into victory lane once again and continue his season dominance. Brandon Medford will come second, third to Doug Wysocki, fourth to Chris Medford, and fifth to Tim Schofield. An impressive, incredible race and an awe-inspiring fight from start to finish here after the troubles we suffered earlier on. What a race here tonight for Neil Quick and his crew, and I guarantee you there's going to be a celebration down there for that number 2 camp tonight. And a little pump and a tag there from Medford. I don't know if that was a friendly tag or if that was just a little, hey, you got one coming up next there, buddy. I'm pretty sure that was just a friendly tag. Yeah, I guess he said, well, your car's not totally up compared to mine. You need to have a few scrapes and bruises on it. What a night, folks. What an absolute night. This has been definitely a fun one to call and a crazy one to call from start to end. Let's take a look now at our top positions and finishers tonight. Top 10, read them like this list. Neil Quick with the victory. Second to Brandon Medford. Third to Doug Wysocki. Fourth to Chris Medford. Fifth to Tim Schofield. Sixth to Kyle Pengraff. Seventh to Jeff Napier. Eighth to Cook Quick. Ninth to Troy Radford. And 10th to Paul Buzzell. Nice job by him to come out top 10 after all the troubles he had earlier on. Congrats to the other finishers here. Unfortunately, some of them not quite where they wanted to be or where they wanted to place that here. I know that by fact because these guys really ran their tail ends off all day long, but there are some things you just can't control, and one of them is the madness that comes with racing on this track. Let's take a listen now here with our top 3 drivers. Joining me now in the top 3, your third place finisher from the number 34 camp, ladies and gentlemen, Doug Wysocki joins us in here. And Doug, congratulations on a top 3 finish, bud. And really, it's good to see you really put a podium spot back in play. And really, you had to travel quite a ways from Michigan down here to Atlanta to get this one figured out.
Yeah, man, it was tough.
It was tough, and it was a lot of fun to watch from start to finish. Tell me, how was the car really when the tires started to burn out, kind of get a little harder to control? Because we saw guys left to right. They were losing in these corners. Atlanta was not easy to handle, was it?
Nah, car got real loose once the tires wore, but I'm also racing at a disadvantage. I only have one hand right now. I had hand surgery on my left hand, so I'm doing it all with one hand, so it made it even worse for me.
I have not the foggiest idea how the heck on earth you are working with literally a car that's already hard enough to handle, and you're working with one hand down there.
Yeah, it's tough. I am wore out, let me tell you.
Wore out and then some, but I mean, I'll give you credit for that, Doug. So, nevertheless, though, bud, you're gonna walk away here tonight with a solid position in a top 3 finish. So, I'll ask you, who do you want to thank you for this one?
Well, man, I got to thank all my teammates first and foremost, man, from Falcon Motorsports, Chris Medford, Brandon Medford, Troy Radford, Tyler Hilton, Tom Quattlebaum, everybody. They give me all kinds of help, and I really appreciate it. And this top 3 is for my daughter, for Samantha. I'm gonna get a win soon. It's coming. I can feel it.
For sure there, Doug, man. We appreciate you coming on board, but it's sooner or later we know it's coming for you too. Best of luck out there. We will see you on the next go around.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the number 34 driver, Doug Wysocki, coming on board here with us tonight. Let's take it down now and talk with one of our second place drivers here in the Brandon Medford here. And Brandon, congratulations on a second place finish. And if I'm going to be a little bit honest with you, bud, I thought it was going to be Chris Medford we were going to be talking to a little later on, but no, you managed to come back and surprise the field on that last restart. Had a good jump off of Wysocki Alpha 2, but just couldn't have enough speed to catch quick.
Yeah, I really messed my race up, speeding on pit road there before the last segment caution, and put me behind the 8 ball, and I had to only take left side tires because I accidentally took tires I didn't want to take. So I think I had a car to hang with Neil and Chris and Troy and all those guys up there that were fast early on. But it worked out in my favor. We got a late caution. Unfortunately, Chris was part of that, and really wish I had one more lap because I don't think Neil could have held me off with my 4 tires to his 2.
For sure, there. I know. Really, there was a lot of major pit strategies and stuff going through your guys' mind down there in pit road on that last one. Tell me, when you came off of the ends here and really running harder down from the later half, how bad was it really to keep everything under check and really make sure you didn't find yourself in a bad spot compared to earlier on?
Yeah, just tires meant so much. This is to me the first time the car really was unsettled towards the end of a race. These things got really loose off, so we learned quickly in that first segment we had to save tires. So tried to do that, tried to hold each other off, but the draft here still equalizes everybody. So really just wanted to stay out of trouble and be there in the end, and ultimately that's what we did.
Ultimately, that was you did indeed, and you are walking away with a second place finish. So a big points day for you and a little bit of help for that. So I've got to ask you, bud, who do you want to thank you for that?
Yeah, it was a good day points wise for us. I really needed it after missing last week. But I want to thank all my teammates, my brother Troy, Doug, the snare guys that jump in and race with us here recently. I'd like to shout out to my family who always, they're in bed while I do this, and I'm enjoying my time, and they're, probably tired of listening to me. But also got a shout out to Zoe's Place here in Greenfield. They take care of a lot of kids in need when bad things happen to them. So something I'm proud to carry on. And also the rest of my Falcon teammates, Tom and Tyler, who aren't here racing with us tonight or in this league, but a lot of people help us get here and help us do what we do, so we're fast week in and week out.
For sure there, Medford. Well, we appreciate coming on board here tonight, man. Congratulations on your second place finish, and it's great to hear from you once more, sir.
Thanks. Appreciate the broadcast.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, your second place finisher tonight, Brandon Medford, and that number 83. Well, race fans, he's been waiting a while. He wants to talk with us, so here he is, ladies and gentlemen, your race winner and pretty much the season leader throughout this one, Neil Quick, the number 2. And Neil, congratulations on another victory and really a solid day here for you and your team.
Yeah, thank you. It was a great race. Tough battle up there. There's a lot of great guys up there driving right now. I mean, between the Brandon and Chris and uh, Troy and all those guys. I mean, really, really competitive series, and these cars got to be a handful there after a few laps.
They certainly did indeed, and obviously a bit of a handful, more so often than not, for what we saw here on the later half of this one. We do want to talk about this for a second, but on the last ditch passes before that caution came out, you and Chris Medford, you two just went to war on each other and went pretty much hammer and haywire on each corner, each area. I mean, I gotta believe that you were loving every minute of it until unfortunately you just kind of drove down a little bit low on you on turn 4.
Yeah, actually, it was me. I was on the bottom side, but
Or, I mean,
yeah, that.
it came down on you is what I meant, sorry.
Oh no, I think it was both of us wanting the same piece of real estate, and I was loose, pretty well four wheels slide underneath him and trying to keep it down, and he was trying to get a run off there. And I love racing with Chris. I know it's sparked quite of a rivalry, and I know he's probably not happy about that one, but it's part of racing, and especially in these cars. I mean, wouldn't want to be racing anybody else. I mean, it's me and Chris have kind of sparked a rivalry, and I enjoy looking forward to each week racing him. Had a blast there. I mean, we had some crossovers, and I know coming off two, there's a couple times he was up against the wall, and I was everything on the brakes, checking up not to turn us or spin us out coming out through there. So it was some pretty intense racing there the last few laps, and hope it made fun for you guys broadcast wise.
Buffalo, as I say to everyone out there that asked that, I will just say go back and watch the broadcast, and you can figure that one out for yourself, because me doing it does not do it justice. So, anyway, Neil,
You do a great job.
appreciate that, man. You did a heck of a job out here tonight, raising some serious hardware and some mantle to put up for a top five, for a top three to winner's circle finish here tonight. Neil, I have to ask you, man, you got another victory to your name and your championship hopes continue to grow on. Who do you want to thank you for this one?
Well, of course, the guys that put on the series, Chris, the sponsors, Sim Speed Shop, definitely Spartan, Transportation, Brian, the guys that are in there, is it Track Time Entertainment, all the sponsors of the series, and definitely my family for allowing me to do this. I know these get to be late nights on Thursdays, and enjoy racing with these guys, and of course all the guys I race with. I mean, this is enjoyable. We had a stacked field this tonight, and a lot of racers here, so look forward to it every Thursday night.
For sure, there, man. We really appreciate you coming on board here tonight and really tuning on in each and every time out. Neil, appreciate me. Neil, we'll certainly see you back here in top three eventually. But what a win here for you and your team here in Atlanta. Congratulations. Go and celebrate with this one, brother.
Thank you, appreciate it, and great job with the broadcast, man.
I appreciate every minute of it there. Ladies and gentlemen, your number two, Neil Quick, your race winner here tonight, and another solid day in performance for him and his crew. Season championships hopes just keep on going, keeps on rolling, and really a lot of that's thanks to our good friends at Spartan Logistics Management LLC, R&R Racewear, Loud Pedal Gaming TV, SpeedShop.com, Track Time Entertainment, as well as 5-Star Graphics. And really from all of us here at PTM Racing TV, thank you again for tuning in, folks. Usually it's where I say our fives, goodbyes, and all that, but I'll just leave you with this. Enjoy. I appreciate every single one of you.